Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? How you doing, Colby?
I'm doing good, Osama. Thanks for asking. What do you have to share with the class today?
What do I have to show with the class today?
Mhm.
So we decided to keep not deteriorate from our conversations, keep to the point, and try to record shorter videos and keeping on topic because for some reason you guys like the stuff at the start, not the end. So we're gonna stick to the point, ask questions, and show results. So today we're gonna talk about how we're using PMax for lead generation. I know everybody says that it's really, really bad for lead generation. Trust me, it is bad, but there's caveats to set the setup that it has to be done a certain way for it to be good, and there's time frames you have to wait for. But before we even get into that, I'm going to show you two numbers of it purely just running off of PMax, two case studies basically. The first one was a text I got from a buddy of mine that also ran ads from a local service space, and he was running, and his lead cost and quality, his lead cost was going up really high, and the quality of the leads was dropping. So I got him to make these changes, and look at that! I'm still blown away at how good PMax works. Well, PMax is getting lead that's 1/6 of the cost, which is great. And now, if you want to look at even more real number, like actual numbers, this is from an actual client. This is the week. This is how much we're spending. This is my cost per lead. This is my cost per booking, and this is the ROI. And in this industry, this is like 1/3 of this cost, basically, which is great to see. Now, let's get into it.
So you're saying you did all of this via PMax. PMax can be good. And then another point that we should point out is look at the production value that the clickening provides. Google Docs.
Screenshots and Google Docs.
Are they real? You'll never know.
You won't. What if it was AI? Back to the point. Okay, so the PMax are heavily dependent on one thing and one thing only, in my opinion, and it's your conversion signal. The more accurate, the more relevant, the more qualified the conversion signal is, that the better that PMax will perform. If you
I'd say
have
that's fact. That's fact, Osama. I think that high quality conversions is absolutely everything for PMax. Like even if you're doing ecom, like you got to give a good signal, or everything's garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. I'm sure you were going to say that, but I've got little to
100%.
bring today, so that's
right
what I brought.
here. Better conversion signal, better lead quality, better optimization. And then
Garbage in, garbage out sounds better.
And bad signals are opposite, which is why, like, when we're optimizing towards phone calls or like form fills, we end up with a lot of bot traffic because it's so easy to just fill out a form, and it's so easy for someone to pick up a call and just stay on there for like 60 seconds, and Google tracks all of that. So one of the things, so first and foremost, signal quality is the best. Second thing is you have to wait. You have to wait for it to get enough signal and then actually optimize towards that signal. And when I say this, I'm saying, I know I have 3 to 6 weeks, but I got AI to edit this for me, so ignore that. But it's usually like 4 weeks onwards is where you want to start judging this campaign. The PMax, in my opinion, usually runs through like 3 phases of it, which is first the exploration, where it's just going and throwing stuff at the wall and trying to get conversions. Once it gets its first conversion, it's like, oh, cool, now I have a signal. So now it's got a signal, and it starts to optimize towards that signal. You get another signal, you get another signal, you get another signal. And now it has signals from, which is basically your conversion. It starts optimizing towards those signals. That's when optimization starts happening, and that's when your CPLs start decreasing. So you have to wait for that. And that whole process takes around like 4-ish weeks plus. I'm going to change that.
It's probably dependent on the cost of your conversion and how much you're spending. I think that's what it would do. Like if you're spending a lot and your conversions are cheaper, this optimization process will come a lot quicker. But if you're kind of like right in the middle, it usually will take a few weeks. And so, yeah, if you're not seeing conversions come in, this model's not like, that's where you identify if it's going to work or not. Because if you, and Asama, you can push back on me, but I'd say if you've gone a week or two and you're getting nothing, I'd pull the plug, because it's not going to get better, because it's not going to start optimizing until it gets some positive signals. And you don't even know if those signals that it's going to get from those, like, say you're week 2 in, if they're bad signals to start with, it might just start optimizing towards like crap too. So
agreed, 100%, 100%. So give it enough time, but if the signals don't start coming in, you might want to just kill it, reset it, or see if there's something that's really throwing it off. Now, when we're talking about signals, what defines a good signal that you want to optimize towards? Oh yeah, before I get into that, Colby made a good point that is dependent on the amount of conversions you come in. I agree with that, but I also want to add an extra layer to it. Wait for the consistency. You can still have $1,000 a day budget to it, but if it's flip-flopping like crazy, going up and down, let it settle in and consistent out before you start touching it. You do not, again, I can't emphasize this enough, don't touch it until it's consistent. Once it's steady, then you can touch it. Going into lead quality. So when we're optimizing stuff, you want to optimize for harder signals, but you want to optimize for enough signals. So you want to go backwards into your funnel as much as possible for you to start hitting those 30 conversions. For example, if you're dealing with a call to qualified calls to a booked call, right? If you have 30 to 40 booked calls, just optimize towards booked calls. But if you have 15 booked calls and 30 to 40 qualified calls, and optimize towards qualified calls. And if you still don't have that, then go farther back to calls. But ideally, as farthest down the funnel as you can go.
Yeah, because like a conversion, like an end sale is the best signal you can get. But if you're in B2B and doing PMax or something or lead gen, it might be possible that you're not going to get that volume. So you might have to go further up in your funnel to get that volume. But the closer you are to that sale, the better quality. So the better performance will likely be.
Yep. And then you can start at that signal and just start optimizing towards that. And the follow-up signal is just you're going from qualified calls to book calls. You're optimized for qualified calls. And then eventually you see that booked calls is having enough data, then start optimizing towards that. Not a big deal. Again, just examples, like I don't consider these as good ones, a phone call.
Don't use button clicks ever. If you like, it's just anytime I see button clicks, like I just know it's gonna fail. Like when it's like, the client says like we have to use, like it's just a red flag for me. I'm just like, this is gonna not work because we can't get good enough data.
Exactly. So if you're optimizing towards this, Google's literally gonna be like, this is a good lead. I'm gonna go for more than it. Remember, PMax is a demand capture campaign, and it does a really, really good job for that. And it will always go for the lowest hanging fruit. So if you think about these signals, it's so much easier to get one of these signals than it is to get one of these signals. So if you're optimizing towards these, you're going to end up optimizing like crazy towards these. It's the lowest hanging fruit, and it's not going to care if it becomes a booked call or whatever. It's just going to optimize.
Talk about conversion value in this presentation.
No, that's a different one.
I would say though, let's say, hold on, I might detract a little bit.
That's going to retract too far off. That should be.
No, I don't think it is. All right, fine.
I think that could be a different video we can use with like actual numbers. But we will record one.
Well, okay, let me say something though. Let's just say there's a world where you want Google to know that one action is more valuable than another action. Maybe you would add value. But stick to Sama's script and don't you do other things.
Yeah.
Or we'll find you.
And we'll find you. And that's it. You give the system enough time to learn and you wait it out. You also want to make sure you give it enough budget. Do not start it with $10 a day and hope it'll work. That's not going to be enough data. You want to make sure you have enough budget to get it 30 to 50 conversions a day. No, a month, sorry, for that other day.
You're doing good, maybe, if you're getting that many.
And that's it. To summarize it all, good conversion signals. Make sure you have all your assets. Oh yeah, make sure you have all your assets. Make sure it's a full build. Add your location assets if it's a location. Add your videos. Add your images. Make sure you have all the assets. Do your day parting if you want to. All that stuff. So good signal, proper assets. Give it time, enough budget. Leave it alone. And
if you don't put in a video, Google might make its own shitty little slideshow video for you, and you're gonna be bummed.
That's it. Colby, you want to add anything before we end this video?
Yeah, I don't know. Just do it. Just do it. There was one thing though. Yeah. Biggest failure for lead gen clients is that they're not spending enough. They're not spending, enough to even afford their client. And so if the daily budget isn't going to suffice, like just, kind of do that backwards math, because you might figure out that you're going to fail from the start. So we've talked about in other videos. If you're interested, you can slam a message